Have you ever wondered about evil, homosexuality, who made God, abortion, miracles,
to smoke a little weed,
life after death? My name is Sean McDowell, and I'm a high school teacher, a writer, a speaker, and a college professor. I'm the general editor for the Apologetics Study Bible for students.
Why does God allow evil? All of us, at some point in our lives, have asked this question and wrestled with it. If God is all powerful, he can stop evil. If God is all good, wouldn't he want to stop evil? And yet evil exists. So some skeptics would say maybe an all-powerful good God does not.
It's a question that Christians certainly wrestle with. We see in the Bible people like David, people like Job, like Joseph, asking for justice. But we also see a lot of non-believers, like Einstein, who's clearly one of the great thinkers in the history of the world, who believed that somehow the science and math of the universe pointed towards a God, but he couldn't believe in the Christian God because of the existence of pain and suffering. People like Darwin, who gave us Darwinian evolution. Really, at its core, his problem was suffering and evil within the world. But where do we begin to tackle an issue as big as this? So what is evil? Sometimes when we think about evil, we think there's good and evil, these equal and opposite forces that kind of are competing against each other. But that's not what evil is. See, you can have good without evil, but you can't have evil without good. You can't have evil without good. Think about like truth and a lie. You can have truth without somebody telling a lie, but you can't tell a lie unless there's first such a thing as truth to be corrupted. That's what evil is like. Evil is a corruption of something that is first good. So if evil is a corruption of good, then and if good exists, then interestingly, there must be a God. So when somebody raises the problem of evil, what they're assuming is there's a real standard of goodness that exists, objective good. And if that is the case, then there must be a God to ground that good. So raising the problem of evil is kind of an indirect piece of evidence that there first must be a good moral standard, namely a God, a moral lawgiver, to ground that good. So this helps us frame the question, but it doesn't tell us why God allows evil. Why doesn't he stop it? Well, one way to make sense of this is the purpose for which human beings exist. Why are we here? God has not made us like trees. He's not made us like mountains. He hasn't made us like animals. God has uniquely given human beings the ability to make meaningful choices. And that's because God wants to be in a relationship with us. He wants to allow us to have meaningful relationships with other people. And if you create beings capable of loving, then guess what? You also have to have beings capable of choosing not to love. Now, if I found out, for example, that my wife was a robot and she was programmed to say the right thing, do the right things to make me think that she really was the most faithful, loving wife, it was completely change our relationship. The only reason there's value with my wife is that we choose to love each other. That's what God chose with us. He gave us the ability to choose to follow him and to do good and to do wonderful things and have courage and fight for peace and show justice. But if God's going to give us the ability, by definition without free will, he has to give us the ability to choose wrong things and bring suffering into the world. So yes, God knew that we would do horrible things without free will. But God also knew that it's only by giving us that free will that we could truly love God, truly love other people, and experience the good, best things that life has to offer.